Hello, my name is Michael Berger, and I have an associate's degree in mechanical engineering and a bachelor's degree in digital science. I have a certificate in AutoCAD and cybersecurity. I work as a student IT assistant at the University of Akron, a math tutor at Stark State College, SMT operator at Airborne Electronics, and as a student team leader at Kent State University in the Federated Desktop Support Department.
And my name is Gregory Hess. I have a bachelor's degree in digital sciences from Kent State University. I have a Test-Out Security Pro certification, as well as numerous certifications through LinkedIn courses. I've held numerous IT positions in end-user support across Kent State, Beechwood Systems, and Northeast Ohio, and in my local area, in local town of Northeast Ohio, as I reside. And I'm en route to a rotational in Brooklyn, Ohio, this coming summer. As of February of 2023, I reside at a business analyst position in my current company in a bank in the Ohio area. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Health Aware Podcast. We have a packed episode with you today regarding the world of exercise and its great need for it. It's not just for losing weight, always. Exercise is not just about losing weight, as we'll get into later on today. It is, again, May 13th, 2023. I'm with your co-host, Gregory, here with my friend, Mike. Before we get into this information-packed episode, Mike, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I've been good. I had a bit of recovery after my in-person work week last week, and now trying to get back to my exercise grind as I was back in, I was just remotely working, but the more activity would be good with that. And speaking of activity, we're going to go over some questions of some frequently asked topics we've seen discussed in the exercising circuit when people have to choose to lose weight and just be active, or a piece of both. We have such as the difference between aerobic versus anaerobic exercise, which one's better and how to describe both of them. Well, in short, aerobic is more constant, fast, like steady exercise, like running, swimming, like swimming in lanes, that sort of thing. Well, anaerobic is more stagnated. It's more short, intense bursts of exercise, like walking or being on a bike, one of those stationary bikes that your aunt goes to the community center to be on. Those things.
I think the way Dr. Eckberg put it is aerobic has to do with you are able to breathe, and anaerobic is so intense that your body's not keeping up with like your breathing not keeping up with your exercise. And that's the easiest way or that's the simplest way I think I can communicate that one. But I think the end all be all is you need a little bit of both. You need, I think there's something we talk about later in the podcast. It's called HIT, which is high intensity interval training.
Yep.
And that's where you kind of combine the two, and you get these you do, like, let's explain it like you're going for a run. Like you're doing a little jog, and then all of a sudden you do like 30 seconds of a full sprint, and then you do a light jog, and then 30 seconds of a full sprint. So that's something later in the podcast that we want to talk about. But if you guys want to learn more about this, there's an article. I think it's on GoodRx, right?
Yeah.
GoodRx.com.
You can find it. Yeah, and if you want more intense looks at what's best for you, I just ask your like primary doctor as well
right,
as
especially if you have like a heart condition or
especially
asthma,
heart condition,
like
asthma, blood sugar, blood pressure. Those are huge ones right there. Both those two.
So let's jump into our next topic here. So we watched a video with Dr. Mike doing some fact checking when it comes to
Health transformations.
right. So yeah, he was doing a watch of another YouTube video of a guy that was doing health transformation video. And he was just made some comments as he was watching it, and he noticed that right away the guy he went in there and started overdoing it. And when you first start working out, I think a lot of us fall victim to this. We're like, oh, we want those gains. We want to see all these benefits right away. And with exercise, that's not what you want to do. You want to slow things down, take them a little step at a time. So people fall victim to this overtraining, as opposed to taking these small baby steps to where your muscles can make these small little micro tears, and then they get repaired and rebuilt even stronger. And you want to do that slowly. Doing that too quickly can cause problems. And doing exercises to the point where you're overdoing it, or this overtraining, can lead to injury, which ultimately is bad in the long run, because then you have all these huge breaks of getting better, and you have to recover. So
it's less time like being active, and
less time being active, which is, at the end of the day, that's not what we want. We went there to exercise, not to get injured and then take all this time off. And then you have like the other end of the spectrum where you have people that get injured and they go right back in and then make the injury worse. So you really got to keep an eye on these things especially when you're new to exercising or working out or going to a gym. It's definitely something to keep in mind. And our next topic for the day is an interesting one, or something I find interesting because it's something I try and abide by in my life, whether it's for health reasons or religious reason, which is fasting. And a question I've had on multiple occasions is it okay to work out while fasting? And there's no good short answer for this, so I'm going to try and summarize as best as I can. Dr. Stein Ekberg, or is it Sten? Is it Stein or Sten? It's Sten. Dr. Sten Ekberg, he talks about this topic deeply. So if you guys want to check out his video, is it safe to work out while fasting? And that's Dr. Stein Ekberg. And he explains that if your body, if you trained your body to use body fat for energy instead of the carbs in your bloodstream, then yeah, you can work out easily. You can do high intensity training, you can do HIIT, you can do aerobic, anaerobic, you can do all kinds of training for a decent amount of time. But when it comes to when you're early on, let's say you just started fasting and your body's not, and you just started training, your body's not acclimated to using to using your fat as energy, your body's still using those carbs. This is where you get into trouble, where you want to take it a little bit easier, and you don't want to like push. For example, if you're at the gym lifting, you don't want to be doing those reps to failure every time, because this can cause damage. And you also don't want to be pushing yourself for long periods of time, because you just have that, your body's still getting acclimated to using body fat rather than the energy in your bloodstream. So yeah, that's the shortest answer I can give for that. If you guys want to learn more about that, please refer to the video. And then our next topic for the day is 5 exercises you can do at home. And it's kind of like a catchy title, to lose belly fat, which, because everybody's trying to get this belly fat. So the first one he has at the top of the list is walking. The next one is stationary bike. The third one, which I have done, and I know it's hard, but it's really good for your core, planks.
Especially the next one, space for it, and it's
yeah. Have you done planks, Greg?
I don't think with my body now. No,
They're
that's
definitely hard. Like just getting up to that minute point where you can do like sets of a minute is pretty impressive, and it gets to the point where it's fun to do because then you're like challenging all your friends, like, oh, I'm hitting a minute per set. There's YouTube videos out there where they have like they'll like walk you through it. They're like, oh, hold for this long, and then they're like, set one complete. Like I used to do that. Like I go pull up a YouTube video and I do like, and then it'd be like, okay, 30-second rest, and then you stop, and then it'd be like, get ready, and then it like instructs you through it. So there's definitely training programs for planks out there, and I definitely like them. Moving into the next one, which is stairs or burpees. I think burpees are like the push-ups where you like stand up after, right? Or
yeah.
you push yourself up
I've done
after.
those before back when I'd work out with the wrestling team.
I
Burpees
haven't done
are
those.
what?
I haven't done those. But you could probably describe them better. I think I've seen them done in like movies and stuff.
We even did variations of them called World's Greatest, where you do like half a burpee and then you fall backwards on your back and you like scoop yourself up.
Interesting.
Anytime a wrestler did something insubordinate, everyone would do 100 of those
Oh,
and then get back to
damn,
work.
bro.
I would do up to like maybe 20 before I like felt like I was gonna sink.
See, when we were in trouble, when I did basketball, we had to do ladders or laps or ladders. Ladders were a pain because you have to touch the line. So you run like a fourth of the court, touch the line, go back to the beginning, touch the baseline, run 2/4 to the court or halfway to the middle, then to the baseline, back to the baseline, 3/4 of the court back, and then all the way to the end of the court and then back. And those were ladders, and they were a pain, but you felt it in your core.
Yeah.
And stairs. I did stairs for training. We don't have stairs at my new place, but we had stairs at the old place, and they definitely qualify as good training because you can. I felt it. I did it on leg day, and I definitely felt it in my calves. And then the last one on the list is weightlifting.
Yeah, and this might be the trickiest one to do at home because weights cost money, and
Right.
you kind of have to base like which weight should I buy. So for those that are like, let's say in the older demographic, I would say don't go above anything like 10, especially if you're over the age of 60. And for us, like us Zoomers out here, we probably can shoot up to 50, but not immediately. Don't shoot up to that level immediately.
Are you talking about reps or sets or
Like
wait,
either.
wait?
I usually do
Okay.
weight sets with the 15 pounders in my basement, just on my arms, and I lift them above my head and down. Like it's like a weight bar, but it isn't. I do
I
those and
do.
just the regular reps on up and down my arms.
Yeah, I do.
Excuse me.
When I do weights, I do at least for arms. Let's just start with the stick with arms for if we're comparing arms. I do uh 3 sets of 12 reps at max. And then if that's easy, I'll bump up to the next weight. But like yeah, anywhere from I would say 12 to 7 reps at 3 sets is fine.
I have looked
I would
into barbells that like dynamically change the weight. Like it's
that's
smart
what I
weights.
have. We have those and we have the rack of weights. Anyway, not to spend too much time on that. Um,
This next one I've been looking into myself in my spare time because I do both. The question is, which is better, treadmills or running just outside, like in general? Because what I've looked at before, and I think we even mentioned it on here, is that you can lose a lot of weight for walking on inconsistent surfaces, but you can kind of do it on the treadmill too. So the difference is right there. And I found a piece from lifescience.com that goes over what the actual if there's like a science to this or a difference. Because treadmills allow manual control, as we all know, over the speed, the incline, the intervals, etc., as well as absorbing the impact of our foot, which is different when you're going outside and working with all terrains, like those Jeeps that you see in the ads that are $500 used.
All terrain vehicles.
Those things, like your feet have to be all terrain too. But when you're on a treadmill, you're on just the tread. You can go higher, but you're on just the tread. But
Yeah, I
according to the
assume.
frontiers in psychology, there's excellent benefits to those that I guess suffer from mental illness with walking outside, as that regular outdoor runners also gain not just ease from depression and anxiety from this sort of exercise, but also stronger bones from running on concrete, as well as introducing more challenges in terms of the various terrains, as I said, such as inclines and weather. But that can also lead to injury, which is avoided if you do a treadmill inside. You know, that sort of thing.
I would
But
say there's benefits to both. I assume that if you're on all terrain, like if you're outside and you're like hiking and you have to like go over stuff and under stuff, you're using a lot of different muscle groups too. So I would say there's also other benefits there as well.
as there's also the idea about weight management and energy balance, as running can help you burn more calories and create estimated 500 calorie deficit, according to Harvard Health Publishing. Now, in terms of which is better, there's little evidence to show which one is better so far, according to this site, as regular aerobic exercise is just recommended, as it will burn calories and aid in your goals, as well as the speed and the type of incline of running you do will impact the number of calories burned, such as those associated with HIIT training, which we'll get into later. But if you want to look at this more, you can go to lifescience.com/treadmill-versus-running outside.
Very
Just
nice.
to like explore it more. But next we have a FAQ seminar from another Dr. Mike video that we saw, where he kind of debunks some fitness commonalities that people do that are sometimes not the best thing to do.
Right. The video's name is "Worst Fitness Mistakes My Patients Make." Um, so one thing that he talks about is something that I've done in the past is focusing too much on the numbers. While it's good to have goals, we need to make sure that we are consistent with our workouts, and it's more important that we show up consistently and then we'll make small improvements from there. We shouldn't be like, oh, I have to do this many miles or burn this many calories per day or whatever. Just
Yeah.
showing up every day. And I know that I used to do like an exercise bike, and I would focus on like how many calories I burned and how many miles I went. And after that, I was like, you know what? I don't care about how many miles I go. I'm just gonna do it for this amount of time. And over I think it was a couple months, I realized that by doing that, I didn't focus too much on the numbers. I started to see improvements long term, and I would I went longboarding with my brother once, and like we go like every couple months or whatever, just to get back out there, and like I would go farther and farther each time without like feeling exhausted, you know. So we could go for long distances just from doing the indoors the stationary bike.
Right.
Uh, so yeah.
I would say there's competition about that, but I'm the only one exercising in my house currently. So I don't have anyone to compare it to, besides like my friends that rather work out in those Planet Fitnesses, which as a thing I found out recently, teens can work out for free at Planet Fitness starting May through August.
Hmm.
I learned that the other day from my local news chapter. But
It's a good money saver for parents.
I take advantage of it if you have a teen out there, or if you're a teen yourself listening to this.
Agreed.
Take advantage. I don't know if you have to prove it somehow, probably with, I don't know, with giving them your birthday. But that's just a little blurb I saw about that. But other things to avoid is yo-yo dieting, which is the similar equivalent to, oh, I lost 10 pounds on the Atkins diet, so I guess I'll stop.
Or
Because
just changing diets a lot, like
just
going
changing
from one
diets, like
diet to the next.
keto to Atkins to um, some equivalent of just having no carbs, flat, to just going all vegetarian. Like that sort of switching will ruin your digestive tract as well as
Also, like if you gain a lot of weight from like just got your goals and you'll gain it all back, your body remembers that fat, and by switching your diet, it'll just gain it right back. So make
it's like a
sure
state
it's
dependent memory.
you want your body, you want to stay consistent, stick with a diet you can stay consistent with even after you reach your goals. You want to keep those goals because we want everyone to be healthy. We want people to stay healthy.
Indeed. As well as just the need for how to get joints active again. And the recommendation is just activity. Like stretching. Even if it's just stretching, which I do before I wake right when I wake up to right when I go to sleep.
So
Or dynamic stretching, which is movement stretching, not just like putting your arms in the air. This is
so
like lifting your foot up and like sticking your
you
arm out.
you said you have been doing dynamic stretching, and you didn't even know that was called that.
No.
I read about it because I was doing stretching before and after my workouts, and I read, and like I wasn't seeing the improvements I like after I added stretching to my workouts, and after some research, I found out that pre-workout, pre-lifting, you want to do dynamic stretching as opposed to like I don't know if you guys, if everybody knows about this, but like the old stretching they taught in schools is ballistic stretching, and that's only for post workout. Um, and a lot of people don't know they made this big change, and then it found this and then found out in the medical field that we needed to make this big change because it was I think it was like causing injuries or something like that.
Well,
If you do
the
it before your
interpretation was
workout.
also bad.
So yeah, definitely look if you're not doing dynamic stretching before your workout, please do look into it.
As well as just the differences regarding the gym versus the home gym. Which probably that difference is just from proximity. Where it's just like, oh, I won't go as hard because I'm at home. That sort of thing where you're just so used to your surroundings that you kind of lose yourself. That in a way, like that makes me kind of like going to an actual gym again, because
I
you get
I
too
personally
comfortable.
enjoy the gym.
Because like you enjoy the gym, and because it's like a different area. Also, it's
It's
more activity to like
it's
get you
just
outside.
well, it's also just a social space. Like you can you can do networking. You can make friends that you whatever would have made if you did at home. Also, I would say for safety reasons, like at home you might not have a splatter if you're doing certain workouts.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I mean, if you would like, let's say if you and a friend, like let's say you have a home gym, if you bring someone to your house and you're like working out together, then you might have a spotter. But I assume most people working in their home gym don't have a spotter or aren't working out with someone else. But yeah, I would say for safety reasons, go to the gym. There's people there. If they see you getting crushed by a huge weight, they're gonna pull that off of you. So
Yeah, it's just dangerous if you're not being careful working out by yourself, like doing weightlifting, and you suddenly get stuck and there's no one to get you. But moving on from faux pas of working out back to what happens if you never work out. That's another Dr. Sten Ekberg video we found, and it's mainly on what happens to your brain if you don't work out, which is why I stressed at the beginning. Working out is more than just for losing weight. So he went in deep about what happens to your brain if you don't exercise, and it goes along the weights of use it or lose it, essentially, where the activity that you do helps process signals in your brain, which is sort of the purpose of it, central nervous system, and all that, the brain, the spine, you know, as well as accounting for 90% of the movement, which is mostly the spine, akin to how it like coordinates stuff, as well as like the vestibular sense and everything around that, such as when you walk, stretch, do anything like uh, joint related with your extremities, that sort of thing. As well as just the need for not having atrophy, which can have horrible implications if you have
Yeah.
atrophy.
If you don't move, if you don't exercise, no signals goes to your brain, and your brain will shrink. So yeah, just moving in general. One thing he talked about in this video, is how coma patients still their muscles still need to be moved,
Yeah,
and in some hospitals, if they can afford it, they'll actually move the extremities of their coma patients to keep their brain from shrinking and softening up.
exactly. It's just that's just a part of it. Why we need this activity.
So there's a couple questions I had on here, that I thought were interesting, and I did some research on. So one of the questions I had on here was, what is the minimum exercise needed for you to stay healthy? So what I found is about 20 to 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week is what you should be looking at getting. And it doesn't have to be like cardio every day, or lifting every day. And that's another question I actually had was, should I be doing lifting or should I be doing cardio? And I think a lot of people have this question. And I know a lot of women think cardio is the way to go. I know that was big. Um, Especially when I was younger, it was a big movement that women should only do cardio and men should only do lifting. But medical studies have shown that everybody needs to be doing both types of exercise, lifting and cardio. So whether it's swimming, hiking, running, everyone needs to be doing that and some exercise. So you could have, for example, if let's say that your workout week is Monday, you do running, so that's your cardio day. Then you do lifting. Let's say Tuesday's leg day. Then Wednesday's your rest day. Then you have Thursday's arms, and then you have cardio day on Friday, and then you have a day off on Saturday. Whatever it may be, like
That's just
you
an
need to,
example of what you can do from like
yeah,
the
you need
basic
to plan.
suggestions of like 20 to 30 minutes exercise a day. Like this is a little late to me, but I just remember this. Do you remember getting those like fit calendars back when you were in school?
I
Like
don't
they would
think we got
encourage.
those, but I think they did have like, I don't know if they were calendars. They had like handouts when I was in bodybuilding.
I did bodybuilding. We'll get to that another time. But
I had
off
it
off
was a
off
class in high school.
off mic. But I didn't have that class in high school. But we would have these fit calendars where they would encourage us kids to work out like every day, like do something, like go up the steps 10 times, and you have to have your parents' permission that like, oh yeah, I did this, and they'd stamp it or something, and you can turn in a calendar at the end of the month to try to get prizes. I forget what it was associated with, but it was so strange.
Anyway, I think we should talk about HIT before we bow out this episode here. So, HIT, or sorry, high intensity interval training.
Yeah, HIIT.
Yep. So HIT is the best way of exercise, as it incorporates um, some like low to like medium to moderate exercise along with some intensive training for small intervals. And this has been found to have the best effects on your brain, on weight loss, on I'm drawing a blank on what else.
It's mindfulness as well as just
Yeah,
like, just like mental acuity as
and
well as affecting all the major muscle groups, upper and lower body.
to just kind of explain how this works is you say this is how I'm going to do it. You either get on your bike or you go for a run and you say, this is the amount of time I'm going to be doing a light jog for. So, like, I think it was like a few minutes. When I used to run, I would do a light jog for a few minutes and then I'd do a 30-second sprint. And then I would do another light jog and then a 30-second sprint. And I just keep going like that for however many miles I was doing that day or forever how much time I was putting on that day.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think my dad does. I think he's a runner too, and he does hit training when he goes on runs as well.
I mean, that's a good amount of lists of some exercises, as this was founded back in the 70s by Arthur Jones, who invented these training machines called Nautilus. Regarding like just have a better focus on minimum amount of exercise, so get great results on a consistent basis. Not every day, but consistent basis. And some of these exercises include, before you forget about them, include like leg presses, chest presses, lat pull downs, leg curls, intensive running, as well as these exercises can also target areas such as like the hip, waist, compound row. I don't know what that is. That's like the shoulders area. The lats, the abdominal machine, okay, and the quadriceps. So all around, just a good thing to have for like a body in need for this sort of activity and exercise. So, you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's good for this episode. Um, I want to encourage everybody to get out there and get active.
Yeah, and since the weather's getting nice, I'll maybe take more chances to actually do it all outside. If
It's getting nice
allergies
for
don't,
you. It's getting
if
it was 95 degrees last couple days here.
it's only like 67 here, but it's tempting me to go on a walk after this is over. But then again, I could be really off, and the rain could just switch on because again, I'm still in Ohio, and Ohio doesn't really care what we tell it to do.
So I might hop in the pool for a few laps.
Yes, at least you got a pool.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and you guys, health is wealth.
Health is wealth.